Okay, welcome to today's tutorial. I am going to show you how easy it is to make a notebook or journal or low content book cover in Canva. So the first place we will start is actually over on the Amazon website. They've got a cover calculator which is really useful, and this will allow you to get the correct dimensions for your book. So you literally just run through these. So we're going to be making a paperback. It's going to be black and white interior with white paper, left to right page turn direction. We're going to use inches and we're going to go for a 6x9, and let's say this is going to have 200 pages. We just calculate those dimensions and instantly you get all of the information that you need. So this full cover is the main dimensions that we're going to be using, but we're also going to download the template as well, just so that I can show you what it looks like in Canva, which is very useful. So it's 12.7 by 925. Let's go over to Canva and create a design. We'll go to custom size, 12.7, 925, create a new design. So instantly this is going to give us the exact dimensions that we need. And now we can, because if you click download the template here, you will have that in your downloads now. You might need to extract the file inside File Explorer so that you can get access to the PNG file inside of Canva. So we go over to Uploads, Upload Media, and here you'll have it in your downloads. So you just double click on here and this is going to open it in Canva, and then you can just bring it straight into your design by just giving it one click. Bring that up to the top corner or the bottom and resize it so that it fits. Now it will fit exactly because you have taken the exact right dimensions for the basic shape. So here you have it now. You know exactly what your cover will look like. Just give a quick double check here that you have got exactly what you wanted, a 6x9 with 200 pages. So you'll have that information already from knowing what kind of book you're creating and what your interior is going to be and how many pages it will be. So the first thing I always do is just duplicate that page. Reason I'm doing that is just so if anything happens up here, I've got my template down below, and there's just always nice to have a copy down below. I always find you can delete that at the end if you don't need to. So let's start by adding an element, and we're just going to add a square for a block color right now. So for this little tutorial, I'm going to make a small gratitude journal. So at the moment it's just come in pink, and the reason it's come in pink is because Canva will try to use the information it knows about your current design to help you with suggestions and so on there. So at the moment the only colour on our design is that pink that's come over from KDP, so it's given us a pink background as well. So of course we can just change that to however we want. So say we want a nice bright yellow colour for this gratitude journal. Now so that we can still see our template, we can just hit transparency and bring that down about halfway. And now obviously we can see what's behind, and we can still see that template if we want to and if we need to, just to be sure that our design is fitting nicely onto the template. And then at the end we can just bring that transparency back to 100 and it covers the template. So you don't need to delete it necessarily. I don't really worry about deleting the template if it's completely covered. So let's start by adding a spine into the book so that we've got that central point. So if we just type line and grab the first line here, and if we rotate this so that it's 90 degrees, and if it's anywhere else in the document and you want it directly in the middle, just hit position center. Now obviously that's very skinny, so we're going to go up here to line weight, and we're going to slide this over to the desired weight that we want. And I want it to definitely cover the entire spine area with a kind of overlap, so that the cover of the spine area does come onto the back and the front cover, is my thinking there. So I'm going to go quite thick there, and I'm going to bring that up and bring that down. So obviously at the moment it's black, we can change that at any point. So currently we've got a yellow background with a black spine. So this is going to be a gratitude journal. Now I am going to start with the text because I find that the text is firstly a very important element on your design, because it's going to show the shopper on Amazon exactly what they're going to get, especially if they haven't come across your book through search. They probably will. They'll be looking for something specific and they've typed something in and your book is going to come up and show. But on the off chance that it doesn't, you really want to make sure that it's very clear what this book is. So let's start with the text. So there's lots of suggestions here Canva give us for different ways that we can use fonts and colours and things together, which is really useful for inspiration, or you can just pick them straight out of there as long as they're not the pro, because this is not the pro version. I am using the free version today just because I'm aware that you might not have the pro version, so I wanted to make it user friendly to everybody. So I'm just going to add a heading. I'm not going to pick one of their fonts there because I want to show you some of the text effects that you can use. So it will just come straight into the middle of the document. So let's type what we want to type. It's a gratitude. Gratitude. And I'm going to Control Copy and Control V. And I'm going to put my words in separate text boxes. I always put my text in separate text boxes because then you get to control exactly how the words sit next to each other, the spacing, etc., and you have more control. So I always recommend to put your words in their own text boxes and you can decide. So at the moment this is nice and big and bold. It's a very sort of square blocky font. Of course up here we've got tons of fonts available to us. We'd have to pick the ones without the pro, but of course we can do that. There's lots of them that are available to us. So I'm going to change the word journal to a different font and leave the top one the font that it is. Let's just pick one for the sake of this. You always want to pick a font that's fairly easy to read. Lots of the scripty, beautiful, handwriting fonts are lovely, but they're just very difficult to read. And you've got to be aware, of course, that your little thumbnail of your book is going to be fairly small on their screen. They're going to see lots of books at one time. So it needs to be very obvious what you are trying to say. Another feature of Canva is down here. You can actually change all of your fonts in one go. If you had lots of words on your document, and you didn't want to change them individually, you can do a change all. But of course, for this example, we actually want two different fonts. So let's go with this for now. And as you can see, this is nice and big and bold, and it does look nice and centralized on our document. So this is where we're at so far. So let's now add some elements to this. Let's go over to Elements and let's type in leaf. Okay, so again, picking elements that are not on the Pro account. Let's just pick some elements. Now this is coming in as a white element, which might be fine. In fact, for the moment, I am going to change my transparency up to yellow, up to 100. Sorry, my words. So let's have a look. Do we want this to be white or do we want this to be black? Do we want this to be a different colour completely? Of course, it's really up to you. So when you've clicked an element, quite often you will get other things recommended to you which are similar, and you can click see all and see various things that are of similar style which might be useful. I am just going to add some different leaves in here and have a little play around, see what I like. So I've got 4 different elements that have come in here, and I would say that this one is not really in keeping with the other 3 as much, so I'm not going to use this one. And you can just hit delete, or you can just drag it off to the side and it's gone. So what we can do now is we can start to play around with these, resize them, change the direction. You can use the flip element up here at the top and have them coming in different ways. Just Control Copy and Control V to copy and paste. Control Copy, Control V, and as you can see, you can quite quickly build up a design. That's starting to look quite lovely. And it can be as simple as that. Now, of course, you can make your designs as elaborate as you wish, but sometimes simple is just the way to go. And if you get to the point where you're quite happy with the design, but you think, oh, maybe I could tweak it, I'm not sure, just make a copy and then you can work on one and keep one as it is, just so that you've got that backup there and you don't have to think, oh, I wish I hadn't changed it too much. There is no harm to having lots of different copies of your design, tweaking them in different ways, and then choosing which one actually you're going to go for finally. I think a little bit of depth and background to this one might be nicer. We could perhaps add in a circle, change the colour to maybe like a light yellow. Go to the yellows, maybe like a pale yellow, like this. Take the transparency down. And take the position backwards. Just gives it a little bit something else. We want this one to be at the front, so position to the front. Make sure that that circle we've just added is definitely at the back. Maybe add in one more graphic. Maybe something like that. So very simple. And remember, if we want to just double check that we're all within the boundaries and we're doing good, we can just bring the transparency right down and we can see that template below there. We can see that the barcode isn't being interfered with in any way. And that we have got some of our leaf patterns going into the pink areas, but that's actually fine because we want our design to go off the edge of the page. So that's intentional. The words are nicely centralized on the template and everything looks really good. Okay, this is when I realized that I've used a pro element. So I need to take this one out because I picked a pro element and it would cost me money to download that one. So let's pick one that's not a pro element to finish off the design. Let's just pick this little guy here. I'm going to change the color to black. And I'm going to copy and paste it like this. Okay, so we just click share, download. We want to pick PDF print because that's the high quality image for a cover. We don't want to do all pages, just page 1. And we hit download. And there you go. It will be going into our downloads folder on our PC, ready for uploading into KDP.